OOPZILLA. Alright, we got another problem. Let's get this one going too. Looks like everything's in the right spot this time. We don't have to be moving things up and around and swapping or anything. Everything looks good. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to multiply this times a 1/3 to get that 3 off there. This times a 1/2 and this times a 1/6. So when I do that, I'm going to get a matrix that looks like this. X minus 1/3 y minus 2/3 z equal 5/3. The next one is going to be x plus 1/2 y plus 3/2 z equal 3. The next is going to be x minus 1/6 y minus 2/3 z equaling 3/2. Alright, now everything looks good except for I have these invisible ones here and I want them to pass through to 0. So I'm going to multiply this top one by a negative and add them to these two rows right here, and that's going to give me negative x plus 1/3 y plus 2/3 z equaling negative 5/3. Now let me look and see, make sure that I'm following my notes correctly. Yes, indeed I am. Now I'm going to take and add this row I created right here to both of these two rows right here. So let's go ahead and do it. Write down the original. That's going to be x minus 1/3 y minus 2/3 z equaling 5/3. Now this plus this, that's going to be 0 and 0 because this plus this plus this. Now this plus this is going to give me a plus 5/6y. This plus this is going to give me a 1/6y. This plus this is going to give me what is it? It's going to be 13/6z. This plus this is going to give me 0. Okay, 0. Had to look at that. This plus this is going to give me 4/3. This plus this is going to give me a negative 1/6. Now things are looking good. They pass through to 0. Now I want to get these guys to become 1 so I can get this guy to pass through to 0. So now let's go ahead and multiply this times a 6/5, this whole row, and this row times a 6. So when I do it, let's go ahead and put the answer. Now let's put it right down below right here. No, you know what? Let's put it over here so I can work in this direction. Okay, so now I'm going to take the original, write it down, minus 1/3, that's a third. Okay, y minus 2/3 z equaling 5/3. Okay, now this time this I'm going to get, well actually this time to 0 I'm going to get 0, so I'm not going to write it down. This time this I'm going to get a y. This times this right here I'm going to get 13/5, I believe. Let me see, yes, 13/5 z. This times this I'm going to get equal to 8/5. Okay, and I believe that's so. Let's see, 3, yes, 8/5. This time this I'm going to get 0. This time this I'm going to get my y to come back again. This time this is going to be plus a 0. This time this, actually this time this, I'm going to get a negative 1. So this basically told me that my y is equal to negative 1. So I don't really even need to try to condense this matrix down anymore. I can go ahead and start solving now because I did solve for one of them. As a matter of fact, let me do this. I might be able to just slip it all over here. So yeah, let's erase this while I'm doing it. Don't need it anymore anyway. So less clutter so that you can focus on what I'm trying to show you. Okay, so now y is equal to negative 1, so I can write that down. Y equal negative 1. Now if I know y is equal to negative 1, what I can do is I can take this y here and move it across the equal sign and leave this 13/5z on this side equals, well, this y is going to be 1, so let's just make them 5/5. Since it's going to be 1, then that's going to be plus this 8/5 right here, which is going to give me 13/5. So let's go ahead and do 13/5. And look, it's starting to blend with on the other side. To get rid of this guy, I've got to multiply by 5/13, then 5/13 over here, That's telling me that y is equal to, z is equal to 1. See that? My z equals to 1. So I have z equal 1. Now, let's go ahead and try to solve for x. Well, x is basically going to be this. Let's put it up here. X, then move this guy across the equal sign. That's going to be equal to 1/3 y. And what is y? Well, y is equal to -1. So it's 1/3. And it's also going to be a 1/3 to the positive, then y. Y is equal to -1. And then move this guy over, and that's going to become a plus 2/3 z. And what is z? Z is equal to 1, so we don't really need to change anything at all. And then this guy is already plus 5/3. See, all the denominators are matched up. And they try to do this for you with these problems. They try to make it so that things do work out if you don't make mistakes. Okay, so now let's move this out the way. We don't need him anymore. We know what z is. Okay, so now this is going to be equal to -1/3. Everything's over 3, so let's do it. This is going to be plus a 2, plus a 5. So that right there is going to give me a 7. It's going to drop it down to 6, okay? So that's going to be 6/3. That's telling me that x is equal to 2. Now we have x equal 2, y equals -1, and z is equal to 1. And that's your answer. OOPZILLA.